Hello everyone. Today's topic is on line equation into slope-intercept form. This is one of the fundamental for a straight line equation. So we'll be starting off with this, and the formula for slope-intercept form is y equal to mx plus b. Prior we go into detail on to y equal to mx plus b, I'll talk about what is x-intercept and y-intercept just for a review. So x-intercept is when y is equal to 0, and y-intercept is when x equal to 0. So we'll represent that into graphical form. If we have a graph, a straight line, so this is our y-axis, and this is our x-axis. So y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So at this point, this is origin, so it's 0, 0. So this is gonna be our y-intercept. So it's gonna be 0, comma y. So this is our y-intercept, y-in, and in x-intercept when y is equal to 0. So this is gonna be our x-intercept, is gonna be x comma 0. So the value of y is 0, and this is gonna our x-intercept. To solve for x-intercept and y-intercept, there are the same formulas we use to solve for x-intercept. Set y is equal to 0 and solve for x. To solve for y-intercept is just the opposite. Set x is equal to 0 and solve for y. Okay, sorry about my handwriting. Okay, so we'll just see example of that. For example, we have equation of a straight line. I'll get into more details on that, but this is, I'm just showing how to solve for x-intercept and y-intercept. So for example, y equal to 3x plus 2. If you want to solve for x-intercept, then you have to set y equal to 0. So we set y equal to 0, 3x plus 2, and then we solve for x. So 3x is gonna be negative 2, and x is gonna be negative 2 over 3. So this is our x-intercept. To solve for the y-intercept, we have to set x is equal to 0. So in the equation y equal to 3, we said x is equal to 0 plus 2. So our y-intercept will be 2. This is how we find our x-intercept, y-intercept. This is just an example using a straight line equation, but this can be done using any other polynomials. It could be a quadratic or any other polynomials, doesn't matter. Okay, cubic, quadratic, doesn't matter. Okay, this is just one way to show it. So hope you guys are clear with x-intercept and y-intercept. So now I will move into details of how to solve the straight line graph using the slope-intercept form. Okay, so we get started. I'm gonna write down the formula again: y equal to mx plus b, where m is my slope, b is my y-intercept, and x is just a variable. B is y-intercept. I'll get there. So what is the rule for y-intercept? Y-intercept, we set x to 0 and solve for y as we did into the last page for y. So if we set in this equation, if we set x is equal to 0, then we are left with y is equal to b. So in a straight line equation, b always represents the y-intercept, because if you set x equal to 0, y will be equal to b. Okay, So now this is the slope. So for slope, there is another formula. Slope is equal to rise over run, and it's gonna is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So how this works, if you have a straight line, and if you have a if you have any straight line, thus we can find the slope by taking any 2 points from this line. So let's say we have 1 point here, another point here. I'm just randomly labeling it 1 2. So value of x is 1 and value of y is 2, and this is gonna be, let's say, 2 1. Okay, so this is 2, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 1. Okay, so these are 2 points on top of this straight line. So slope can be found from any 2 points on this straight line. It doesn't matter, it can be from here, from at the end, doesn't matter, any 2 point on the straight line. We can take them and we can find the slope of this straight line based on this. So what is our y2? So let's first define the x2. So x2 will be the one that's on the further right. So x2 will be 2. So 2. X1 will be 1. This is minus 1. And anything that is correlated with x2 will be y2. So y2 will be 1. And y1 will be 2. And if we solve this, we get -1 over 1 is equal to -1. So slope of this line is -1. I'm just gonna make another graph just to understand it easier. Okay, any straight line. So if we take 2 points on the straight line, so this is x2 y2, and this is gonna be x1 y1. Okay, so anything that's on the left of the graph, any point, that's going to be x1 y1, and anything on the right of the graph, that's going to be x2 y2. So in this graph, this one was more on the right, this point, so that's why this is defined as x2 and this is defined as y2, and this is on the left, more left on the graph, that's why this is defined as x1 and y1. And we just took this value, substituted into the formula and solved for it. So y2 was 1, I substituted 1 here, y1 was 2, I substituted 2 here, and x2 was 2, and y1 x1 was 1. Just substituted all the values and just solve for it. So it's we can see it's a negative slope. That means it's a falling graph. And there if it is a positive slope, it's gonna be a rising graph. Okay, so if we represent this just to get a better understanding, this is x1 comma y1, and this point is x2 y2. Okay, now if we had a so if we have a rising graph, it's gonna just look different and we'll have a positive slope. So we are gonna draw another line. Okay, like this. Okay, so let's call this point, I don't know, 0 2. So 0, and let's give it a number 2. Okay, and we take another one, let's say this point. We can take any 2 point, I keep repeating. So -2, and let's take this as +2. Let's take it as 4 actually. So this is 1.02, and this is another point, 4 -2. So our slope will be So first we have to define which one is x2, y2, right? So between these 2 points, this is more on the right. So this is gonna be x2, y2. This is more on the left, this point, 4, negative 2. So this will be representing x1, y1, x1 and y1. So we'll substitute this. So y2 is equal to, so let me write down the formula again, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, and y2 will be 2 and y1 is negative 2. Okay, and x2 is 0 and x1 is actually minus 4. So this is going to be minus 4 minus 2. So x1 is going to be minus 4. And if we solve for it, this positive negative makes it positive. So 2 plus 2 and 0 plus 4. So 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. So this is a rising graph which has a positive slope. Okay. So, and there is a trick to draw a straight line. I'm just gonna show you how to do it. Let's say we have a equation of straight line given y equal to 3x plus 6. Okay, from this equation we know the y-intercept is gonna be 6. And to solve for x-intercept, we know the rule. We have to set y equal to 0 and solve for x. So we solve x-intercept, then we set y equal to 0 and solve for x. And if we do that, we get 3x is equal to minus 6 and x is equal to minus 2. This is our x-intercept. So let's try to plot this x-intercept and y-intercept in the graph. Okay, so our x-intercept is negative 2. So let's think it's here. And y-intercept, we already know it's 6. So let's say somewhere here. Okay, and if we draw a line between the x-intercept and y-intercept, it will give us the straight line. So instead of doing points by points, we can simply draw it like this, just adding up the x-intercept and y-intercept. So hope this lecture was clear. I'll do a more detailed lecture on straight line in future. Thank you very much, everyone.